Harry's Wife, Ripple of Hope, starring The Grip of Doom. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Yes, yesterday evening it was the Ripple of Hope event in New York City. And as has been foreshadowed in parts passing, and as a consequence of Harry's wife's need to repeatedly make mention of things either from the past, bringing up the past, or foreshadowing future events, using the future to control the now, we're well aware that she and the Ginger Poodle were there to accept an award, placed in inverted commas, for apparently standing up to structural racism in the royal family. Quite possibly one of the most ridiculous awards that's ever been given to anybody, without any semblance of evidence to actually support that, other than perhaps in the deluded mind of Harry's wife. But who was the star of the show? Well, of course, there was a prince there, old Prince of Pink Pancakes. There's also a lady in her 60s, wearing a miniskirt, Kerry Kennedy, which didn't strike me as the most sensible thing to do, but then again, she clearly is somewhat detached from reality herself, given the fact that she invited and provided an award to these two charlatans. Perhaps it was the individual comparing a man who had killed somebody on a film set and a angry, raging narcissist himself, see parts passing, with regard to the series about Alec Baldwin, a man whose wife has engaged in the appropriation of another country's history and race and traditions by posing to be something that she's not. I suppose it might be said that Harry's wife was in very good company with people such as that, but who was the real star of the show? Well, it was, of course, The Grip of Doom, because it made repeated appearances. You'll have no doubt seen the picture, which shows Harry with his arm around his wife, described as him putting a protective arm around her. But of course, he may well be doing so, and for him, he's demonstrating affection towards her. But you will note in the picture that she has to then put her hand up to place it over his hand, whilst his arm is wrapped around the back of her chair, once again exhibiting the necessity of asserting control over him through physical means. This was done, of course, by her. In her mind, it was demonstrating affection. Her narcissism told her that this would be important to demonstrate this facade of affection, that they're two people very much in love. As you know from my work, a narcissist is incapable of love, for we have no emotional empathy. The way that she sits, with his arm around the back of the chair, sort of over her shoulder, the way that she's holding it, is quite simply pathetic, and it looks awkward. You'll notice the other people sat around the table at what looks like a Weight Watchers convention at some kind of downtown hotel, something which Harry's wife is getting used to these days, following up, of course, on her Indianapolis embarrassment last week. But you'll see, nobody else is sat there holding hands, nobody else feels the need to put arms around. Who knows, it may well have been the case that she dragged his arm up there herself. Wouldn't be a surprise, as we know she repeatedly asserts control over Harry in such a way. But she has to demonstrate to the world, he's mine, and the subconscious behaviour is demonstrating that he is a possession. As you know, all narcissists regard other people as appliances in the fuel matrix, possessions which are there to be used to achieve what we require. And therefore, all she's exhibiting is, this is my possession. I'm in control of him, as evidenced by the fact that he sat there and she has her hand upon him. And it's part of facade management. Look, we're two people who are deeply in love. You should think that's wonderful. But of course, the grip of doom wasn't just there. It appeared throughout the evening when they arrived, Harry's wife making sure, of course, that she was front and centre, pulling the hapless prince behind her, once again taking hold of his hand. You don't see the Prince and Princess of Wales engaging in such behaviour because they've been in a relationship for a substantial period of time, and they keep those displays of affection mainly behind closed doors, like most of the planet does. Those individuals that have to engage in repeated demonstrations of affection are invariably trying to make up for a deficiency. Not all, of course. There are some people that are naturally affectionate in this way, but even so, most people would engage in the behaviours away from the public gaze. There might be the occasional touch on the hand or a touch on the knee, etc., but certainly wouldn't be walking into events always holding hands, gripping one another like a pair of love-struck teenagers. It's nothing to do with being love-struck, although, of course, Harry's wife's narcissism wants the world to think that it is. In actual fact, it's all about her controlling him and presenting a facade to the rest of the world so that the rest of the world goes, "Ah, how lovely, still holding hands." However, of course, many people actually look at it and go, why, oh why, do they have to continue to hold hands? Why is she always pulling him around? It's pathetic. They are like a pair of love-struck teenagers. It's ridiculous. And of course, as you can see in the pictures that appear on the screen as I'm talking to you, she's lapping up all of the fuel as she turns up, dragging Harry behind her, ensuring that she is, of course, in the front and controlling him as she directs him through towards the event. And throughout, as they are inside, we see again gripping that hand, holding him, keeping him in place, controlling him. We saw plenty of that behaviour, if you remember, roughly a year ago at the Freedom Gala, where she prodded him and pawed at him, pulling at him as she sought to assert control over him, in some instances actually to his irritation. Here he doesn't appear to express the irritation, preferring to demonstrate this united front. You'll also see that in some instances she goes for a double grip of doom, with her hand interlocked with his and another hand placed over the top. It's nothing to do with affection. It's everything to do with a direct assertion of control over Harry through physical means. It subconsciously demonstrates that he is her property, which is part of the narcissistic mindset, and is a demonstrative of wanting to portray to the world a facade of being together and a united front. That, of course, is to say, look, we are a unit, and as you know, subconsciously in her mind, they are a unit because he is an extension of her. He is bolted onto her. That he is subsumed, absorbed within her world, and everything about him can be utilised by her. Her narcissism tells her, this is us, a united front against the world, we're being affectionate, we're very much in love, and all of you that go boo to all of that, you're just cynical haters. No, what she doesn't realise is that it looks ridiculous for a woman who's 41 and a husband who's in his late 30s to carry on in this way. That it gets up people's noses that they're always holding hands. But you know, as a consequence of my work, what's really behind it. Thus, the grip of doom made a major appearance at the Nipple of Grope Awards, but it didn't actually steal the limelight from Harry's wife, because, of course, the grip of doom belongs to her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.